Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Hey, what's poppin'? How we all doing today? What's up, what's up, what's up? Let me hop up in this real quick. What's going on, what's going on? How's the day going? Your start of the week. What have you been doing? It's been a good day over here. Weather's nice. Can't complain. Did a little stuff today. Still got to do some reading, get that mind situated. But yeah, we got some good food in our body. We got some good exercise today. We got some good work done, some behind the scenes stuff, some big news. Hopefully can break in the next month or two. But yeah, big energy, taking it to a whole nother level. It's going to have a home real soon, big energy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. We're going to house that son of a bitch. The big energy. What's up? What's up? Yo, what are y'all doing on your Monday? What's something new? Let me know in the chat today. What's something new that you did today? And if you don't got nothing new today, you still got time left in the day. But if not today, this weekend. Because here's the thing. I jumped off the skid a little bit these last couple of weeks, just working nonstop, literally X amount of days in a row since the NBA All-Star break. But yeah, try and do something new in your day. Whether it's literally like reconnecting with somebody, whether it's trying a new hobby, trying a new food, cooking, which maybe you don't do that all that often. Yeah, it really makes it, one, memorable, which is important, but a lot more fulfilling, if you will. So smaller things I was doing, like frisbee golf, disc golf, right? A bunch of just random ass thing, like homemade pickling. Like one day, like 6 months ago, right after the NFL season, maybe in like January, February, the regular season was ending. I reached out on Twitter. I was like, yo, send me shit that you do that's like not mainstream. We had a lot of people reach out with some random shit, like pickling shit. Like I started to pickle some shit. So yeah. If you don't know what that means, like I'm not talking about like taking a pickle and hitting people in the face with it. No. I think you go to jail for that. I think you get. I think Deshaun Watson was doing something like that. Apparently, allegedly. No. Talking about pickling them onions. What's up? Paul Dempsey, first one in here, says I think Hero and Ariza are in play today. Yeah. I know. We got Kendrick Nunn out, but Dragic is back, so I expect Hero to still come off the bench and probably not do too much. I'll be honest with you. So Hero, not so much in play for me today. I believe that Ariza is in play barely. Ariza will be somebody that probably comes off the list for me soon. All right, just texting somebody. Where's the greasy Italiano, says Willie Hoops. Greasy? You ain't never seen a boy slicker than this. Cleaner than this. Yesterday I had the worst slate. I didn't crack 200. Oof. Yeah, man. What are you doing on a 3-game slate? If I'll be honest with you. I think that the next 2 or 3 game slate, we have a 4-game slate tomorrow, which is like the breaking point of when I actually put a little bit more action in. The next 2 or 3 game slate, obviously some news was breaking yesterday with Kyle Lowry and things like that. I'm just probably not playing the next 2-game slate. Like they're not that entertaining. Like the games would have to be really good, like for me to actually want to watch them. Like some real life competitive matches. Thoughts on Noel with Mitchell Robinson out? Yeah, Robinson's been out. Noel's not going to benefit, in my opinion, all that much unless you see Julius Randle sit, who's questionable today. So I'll pull up the Knicks minutes. Like, Noel's not going to play 30-plus minutes, right? Next to Julius Randle, he's had a lot of time. He's struggling. Taj Gibson had started at center in the last game with Noel off the bench, so not really all that interested. And in that last game, Randle did miss, so that's why you saw him do a little bit better. Let's get those Dollaruskis today. Let's do it. Ariza definitely in play today. Oh. Who thought Robert Covington was going to eat last night? Bad slate, never on the low. Yeah, he was like in a player pool, I think, at the very most, but definitely didn't think he was going to eat. That's what happens on 3-game slates. When a guy like that goes off, you don't have the opportunity cost to go get somebody else that you were on at lower to middle ownership that can do something similar because there's just no fucking games and no fucking players. Let's get it, them Dollaruskis. Let's get it, Sal. The man Sal's in the building. Joe, my fellow Italiano in the chat. How you doing? You scare me every time I'm in the waiting room for these live videos. You got to lower that volume. I'm blowing out eardrums left and right on this motherfucker. We're starting the week off right. Support the mom and pop small businesses. I'm out here with my small business on this quote unquote small business that's reaching probably around the world right now. And I'm blowing out eardrums. That's my service. That's a service that I do here. The shirt is fire, bro. You like the fire? Yeah, it's like the Penguin Club. I don't know what the fuck it is. I just picked it up. I was like, yeah, I want more colorful shirts to be wearing on camera. And yeah, I was like, yeah, that one makes me look like I'm 13 years old and going to my first junior high class and I'm about to get a big old wedgie. I want that one. That one's going to leave a mark, right? Whether you got bullied, hopefully you're in a spot right now where you can be like, hey, yo, flex on them, right? And now you could wear this as well in high school. Or if you were the one doing the bullying, you're like, I remember those days. So this is going to bring back some memories for everybody. I mean, yeah, apparently these are like nice shirts. This Penguin Club, I'm sure somebody in the chat knows what it is. I don't know anything about anything apparel-wise. I just see some shit and I'm like, that looks like it would look nice on a camera. And I buy it. And we buy it. And somebody said like a couple weeks ago, Sal had himself a night at the consignment shop or something. Yeah. Not quite, but pretty much. Who do you like more for a GBP, Robert Williams or Moses Brown today? So yeah, Moses Brown and Robert Williams. If there was going to be an ownership difference, I would like lean that way. Similar price players, similar upside players, in my opinion. I'll take Moses Brown if they're going to come in similarly owned. Just less competition on the team, right? Even with Jaylen Brown out today, Evan Fournier is going to step in and not fully take the Jaylen Brown role. He's not as good of a player, but he's stepping in, so it's not as big of a drop-off, whereas Moses Brown today is playing with nobody. Like, what the OKC Thunder are doing right now with Al Horford, financially it makes sense. He's going to make his money. It's a guaranteed contract. They don't want him to get hurt, so they can't dish him after this year, so they don't have to pay him more money. But holy shit. Like, talk about tampering, right? You're just not playing a good player because you don't want to have him get hurt down the road for your own organization. The teams that the next 20 games for OKC, they don't have SGA. Sure, they suck anyways, but these next 20 games are going to increase the win probability for the other teams that some of those guys are going to have to get in and out of the playoffs, some of those teams. So, yeah, the Al Horford situation is, I'd do it too if I was a Thunder, but it's an interesting one for the league to look at. Purged Closet, says Cheryl. You did that this weekend? Nice. Miles Turner or Moses Brown? What's up, Sal? Hope you're doing well. T-Dog over on Twitter. How you doing? Fellas. Let's all give Sal a like and a sub. Let's do it. Hey, Sal, my Providence just shut down all the gyms and restaurants for the next 3 weeks. Any home workout tips? I don't have much home workout tips, to be honest with you. I do some home workouts. I have a gym membership, and I run a lot, to be honest with you. The weather's getting better, but there's nothing better than a pull-up bar. So, like, I just hang a pull-up bar in the doorway, and even when I'm not thinking about working out, I'll just like do like 10 pull-ups or something like that, just like walking into the room sometimes. Push-ups. So if you're just trying to get to the basics, right? I don't personally like sit-ups. I got like a protruding back. I don't know what the fuck that means. I've got like not a lot of fat, if you will, in my back. So for whatever reason, the way that my spine is set up, it like rips. My spine bone like rips my back if I keep doing that motion of a sit-up. So I do a lot of planks, mountain climbers, push-ups. If you're doing home, you can do different types: diamond, decline, standard, wide grip. So, yeah, I mean, push-ups are the recipe for a lot of success. And then, obviously, working the abs in a little. Pull-ups, also very nice. Donated to the local movie theater. They're in some real danger of foreclosing for good. Well, there you go, my man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you for doing something very, very nice. Thoughts on Gafford for Washington tonight? Thanks. Gafford for Washington, for me, I don't think I projected him. You said for Washington tonight? For me, I'm pretty sure Gafford is 2 minutes I haven't projected for. So a big old 2 minutes. There you go. Sal, bag of donuts. Hit us with them prize picks, says Dan Foster. He wants a prize. So I actually wrote down before this. I marked out about 4 or 5 that look the best and 11 that I have like a 3 or 4 point difference or more over on right now in prize picks. So we'll check in on that afterwards. How did your lineups do yesterday? I think I lost. I played like $480. I played like nowhere near my normal amount because it's a 3-game slate. I think I lost like 200 and something bucks. So I lost like 50%. I played Aaron Baines and that didn't work out. There was like no other value in the slate. So yeah, not great. I think I lost 40 something percent of my buy-ins, which was only like $200 since I didn't play much. I mean, those 2 and 3 game slates, I think I'm just going to exclude myself from. There's just no upside to them unless you have literally the perfect recipe. But being in the smaller fields, it can help a little bit. Guido in the building. Hey, Sal, I was reading fucking Ryan Jackson. Reggie Jackson or Justin Holiday? Reggie Jackson. I have Hero in my long-term fantasy. Been a rough season with that guy. Yeah. Not great. I mean, he had a promising bubble, which got a lot of guys onto him. But in terms of like sustainability for what he was doing last year, really wasn't there all that much in my opinion. Thoughts on Terrence Mann today? Yeah, I wish I can like him more, but I can't as of right now. I wish I could like Terrence Mann more. The problem with Terrence Mann, you're going to run into a couple things when it comes to Terrence Mann, right? Eventually, you're going to have Patrick Beverley coming back, right? Eventually, you're going to have Rajon Rondo joining this rotation, which is going to be an interesting thing. But it's just the minutes on Terrence Mann. Like, he's still playing alongside Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Ivica Zubac, who is a quality fantasy point per minute producer, right? You're getting Marcus Morris out there more. So it's sort of a minute squeeze. Like, unless you think Amir Coffey or Luke Kennard is just out of the rotation tonight, it's hard for me to project Terrence Mann for more than 20 points. So I like what he did yesterday or in their last game. I just can't get there right now. Finally, took down one of the Super Draft contests, $17 into 130. I took down the 4-point play. Let's go. Let's go. A little 9x value, little 8x value. I think that's not bad at all. Rank your top studs for today. So let's actually start to get into some of this lineup building stuff. So I did this earlier. I just kind of ran out of lineup with some like 30% randomness to see what some of these top projected lineups start to look like before I put any groups in. So top ranked studs for me are Karl Anthony Towns, Giannis, Kawhi Leonard in that order. They were all featured in the top 12 video this morning. After that would be James Harden if we're looking at guys at 8,500 and above. So Towns and Giannis are basically like 1A, 1B for me for payups today. And then Kawhi and then Harden in that order. So you can see this is what it's doing with some of the lineup building. You don't have enough value right now. Like you have Saban Lee, you have Thomas from Cleveland, a shooting guard who I know I'm not going to be as high. Like projection-wise, yeah, he projects out nicely because he's cheap, but he projects out for like 20 points for me. And he's going to pick up ownership today. 11 games late, it'll be balanced out, so it might only be like, that'll be 20%, but around there. So he's the type of guy that I can just easily fade. I don't even know Broderick. Is it Broderick Thomas? Like he starts to become an easier type of a fade option for me. But it's tougher to get the two pay up options today. Like Kawhi is 8,900, not necessarily an all the way pay up. Like if you're talking about like Towns and Giannis, it's a little bit difficult right now until maybe we get some more news. Maybe your Julius Randle gets ruled out. Somebody else along those lines. So these are the types of lineups you're getting right now, which they're still pretty solid lineups. The problem is you have to play like the fucking Bryn Forbes of the worlds and the Broderick Thomases if you want to get to any type of double pay up lineups. Like this one's a little bit more balanced, but still you're getting your 2 3K options so that you can go up. This one's giving you a Luka Doncic with a John Wall. So it's tough today with no value. Like the value is literally Saban Lee, who is okay. He's fine today as long as he starts again. Then you're talking about like Dorian Finney-Smith, who's like the definition of never going over 25 fantasy points. So it starts to become a little bit more difficult. It'd be interesting to see what some more balanced lineups look like. Let's see what player usage looks like. So yeah, like you can see like these values are just picking up everything because they're like the only condensed value right now. I'm fine with Saban Lee, not to this extent. I'm not going to have this much of Thomas. I'm not going to be over the field. Like I'm going to be under the field. Any love for Brandon Clark? No, I have him at 23 minutes. It's not that appealing. So we can transition this off the screen. Let's actually, I'm curious to build a crunch with, do I want to go lower randomness just to see? Let's go lower randomness just to see what that can kind of build out for us. Where's the value today? There's not seem to be much. Yeah, exactly. So we're just kind of perfect timing for you to talk about that. I mean, Saban Lee and Broderick Thomas from Cleveland, and he's a shooting guard, so not great. Saban Lee, if he starts at point, is the value, I would say, today. Outside of that, though, you're not finding much. Like Keldon Johnson's underpriced at $5,300 if you're looking for like a cheaper option. Then you have to go like all the way down towards like the Dorian Finney-Smith, who's currently a no for me. Like if I actually had to try to play him in a single entry. So not much value, which makes it really difficult to get up in a couple of different spots. Makes it really difficult to do that. I thought I had a pop-up when Sal first came on saying knock, knock. You're like, we got some viruses up on this YouTube? Uh-oh. We got some viruses up on this YouTube? We got some viruses in the chat. Yeah, if we got any mods in the chat, all these bots that come in, just nail them. Just nail them. Sal, that's a shirt that supports you getting your lunch taken rather than you taking someone's lunch. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I said earlier. Tony Bradley may play for OKC. Does that worry you for Moses? No, I'm already projecting in Tony Bradley. So I already have Tony Bradley in, and Moses still looks like a top play. I'm projecting Tony Bradley to play 15 minutes right now. You can see it currently on the screen now. You guys still doing the COVID thing? Come down to Florida. We never skipped a beat. North Carolina is like kind of in between on the COVID thing. I mean, yeah, I'm going to be coming down to Florida in the end of April. I'll be going down to Florida with my cousin. And then I shall be off to Austin, Texas in a couple of weeks after that. Whoever is spamming, please go touch grass. Yeah, I mean, it's just like some sort of bot. Somebody says avoid static planks. You don't do static planks? Why so? Is it bad for your back or something? I used to do a lot of static planks in college. Like I would put, I think my record was 6 45-pound plates on my back, which was definitely not probably safe or good for my back. Or it was like more so on my upper back. But for whatever reason, I can do planks really good. I don't know if there's like a certain something that I don't have that doesn't cause me pain, but for whatever reason, I can do planks really. Like the longest plank I've done is, I want to find I think it's like an hour and 37 minutes. I have all the footage and screenshots of them. Like one day I was just like, I want to see how long I can do this. And I just started reading a book and it was like 30 minutes. And I was like, holy shit. And then I started to do them much longer. But yeah, I have like all the things. I think it's an hour and 37 minutes is my longest plank, which I did in my second apartment at Penn State, just like in the middle of the smallest room where 3 of us shared it. Sal, bro, what are your biggest locks for tonight? This slate has 0 locks. I mean, like the pay-up options for me are clearly Towns and Giannis. Like stable mid-range options would be Avicii Zubac and Moses Brown, in probably around like the DeJounte Murray range. But there's not a single lock on this slate. Not a single lock on this slate. Miles Turner or Robert Williams today? Robert Williams. Unrelated, but Sal, I invested a lot in Watson rookie card. Do I sell them ASAP or hold? I mean, I can't tell you what the future is going to be. Has their stock already plummeted? If so, I would hold. If they already plummeted. Sal, what do you project for Ariza? Is he a lock? No, definitely not. It says smoke, pizza, and booze. The man who 3 messages before wants to try and come in and throw some shade. Then he wants some advice. We'll give it because we're the bigger man, clearly. 22.09 for you, Mr. Smoke, pizza, and booze. What a life. Jokic didn't help yesterday. Yeah, I mean, he scored like, 48, and he was still like, where did he end up finishing yesterday in terms of points on the slate? What a brutal slate. Imagine playing a full arsenal of money on yesterday's slate. That is where degenerate status fully comes in. Jokic was the second highest scorer on the main slate. Second highest scorer, missed out by a half or 0.75 points. So less than a point away from being the highest scorer on that bad of a slate. Just fucking nuts. What do you think about playing Moses Brown and Robert Williams? Yeah, I think it's fine. Like the ownership's going to be there on both of them though. So right now I'm going to lean to just play Moses Brown. I'll pull up Boston's minutes now. There's no I'll pull up Boston's minutes now that there's no Jaylen Brown, so you can see how those are kind of going around. I prefer just playing one of them. Clearly high ceilings on them, but it's not like we're trying to take into account that for like a 3 or 4 game slate would be a little bit more important to try and target those guys' ceilings when there's much less options. Hey, Sal, Giannis and Royce O'Neal or Ingram and Morant for DK today? I will take Ingram and Morant. What's up, Sal? Ja Kemba. Ja. Larry Nance Jr. ? Yeah, I like Larry Nance a lot. Larry Nance on Prize Picks actually looks really good. I have him at 36 fantasy points today. I have projected in right now Isaiah Hartenstein to make his debut, but only play 8 minutes. So I have Larry Nance at 34 minutes, about 1.05 fantasy point per minute today, which might be low. Matchup against Utah, though, kind of halts it a little bit. Team total pace halts it a little bit. Yeah, $7,000 Larry Nance I like a lot. $7,000 Larry Nance I like a lot. And I expect Larry Nance to not pick up much ownership today. For whatever reason, people just don't like playing Larry Nance. I don't know why. Maybe it's a $7,000 sticker shock, but I would expect today Larry Nance to be 5-6% owned on an 11-game slate, if that. So for the people in the chat that play them chalk lineups, there you go. Larry Nance looking solid. Take a deck of cards, designate each hoop to a different type of push-up, try to make it through the... Yeah, that, I mean, I forgot what we used to do. You just do the number, right? So if it's like a color card, you could do 10, or an ace, you can do 10, and then after that, you can just do the number. Lots in there. Make me a mod if you want. I'm in here every day, says Devin Walters. Yeah, I will. I'll have to do it on my... I'll do it on my telephone. because I'm hosting through Restream, so I can't add mods through Restream right now. But I got you. Boy. Think I like Robert Williams over Moses Brown tonight. Yeah, I mean, I have Moses Brown higher, but it's not that far back. Sal, give me 2 prize picks locks. Alrighty, I'm going to make some more people. Cool. Randall at 42 points on prize picks, an easy over right now, somebody asks. I currently have Randall, at least on DraftKings. It's not going to be a 1-for-1 projection, but the only difference is blocks. So if anything, the over is easier for a big. I have Randall at 48.24 right now. Is he at 40? Is he that small, if you will, over there? Let's see. What is Randall at? I thought he was higher than that. Randall's at 42. Yeah, I've Randall at 48. If he plays right now, that looks nice. If he's out, well, then they'll just take him out of your contest. So this is prize picks. So the spots that I liked on prize picks the most right now, Randall looks good on that one. I currently like the Joe Harris over 21. I have him at 26. If you're not familiar, you take the over-under on the fantasy points. You can do it on stats too. A bunch of different sports, including a lot of esports. But this is for basketball, obviously. So you can use the code below SAL, SAL on prize picks. It's linked in the description. Encourage you to try it out. A lot of people have been having the fucking Discord the last 2 weeks has just been taken over by prize picks. The word I was going to use was propaganda, which I guess it actually is, right? Just people talking about it. Propaganda, I think, has a negative connotation. But yeah, everybody's loving prize picks. It's a ton of fun. My girlfriend's been playing prize picks. We've been tracking the success of her over the last 3 or 4 days on Twitter. She went fucking busto, trying to get her to redeposit. She put $20 and got it up to 60. Now she's at $0. Getting screwed over by some foul trouble stuff. But yeah, I like Joe Harris on the over 21 on prize picks. There's some other ones that I pointed out. Nance over 31, I have him at 36. Towns over 49, I have him at 53.8. And right now, Alec Burks under looks appealing, but I want to see what happens with Randall. If Randall is out, Alec Burks under 28. I currently have him at 23, projecting Randall in. And if Randall plays the over 42 on Randall. We have a bunch of other ones too on here. Like Giannis looks okay to lean the over. Levine, Wall, Wood, lean the over. Looks decent, but not great. But that's some of the ones that I'm looking at right now. So a Joe Harris over 21. This under on Randall, or this over on Randall. So over 21 on Joe Harris, over 20 or 42 on Randall. And then there's a couple of other ones that are not as strong of plays as what I would say. But I think Larry Nance is appealing. The Joe Harris one is a 5-point difference. The Towns one is appealing as well. So I really want to wait on what happens with Randall here. But there's Larry Nance one. And then we can kind of circle back to that. But there's still some really good ones out there. Because whatever happens with Randall will determine, obviously, his eligibility. And if we like to go and snag quickly the over on RJ Barrett and probably hold steady on Alec Burks based on that projection. Over on Towns. So those are some options. We'll probably come back to that. All right, now that this thing is generated with some more randomness, let's do this. Let's build lineups where if we just take the fuck out this Brody. So let's just take Thomas out and see what happens. We can just take him out of the player pool because that might help us out a little bit more. All the way down in the values, quote unquote fake value. Alrighty, cool. Let's take him out and now let's recrunch. Because I'm not fucking playing him in single and chain 3 max. I'll tell you that right now. Come hang in Miami, Sal. Yeah, so we were going to go to Miami, me and my cousin. We're going to Fort Lauderdale because Miami put in them bans. We're going at the end of April, but we didn't want to risk booking a whole trip to Miami. And then they're like, oh, it's still crazy out here. We're going to put this until May. And then we're like, well, fuck. What are we going to be doing now? If I sign up for a membership, should I wait till the first to get the most for my money? Thanks. Yeah, John. John's in the chat asking this. So Patreon recharges you on the first of the month, right? So they charge you now and then on the first of the month, or upfront for your first month, then on the first of the month. If you sign up now, just reach out to me, and then I'll be able to prorate / refund you next month once you get charged. So you can sign up now, and then you'll get that back, either in a prorated amount, so you'll only get charged for the certain amount of days you use, or I'll just, if I'm feeling nice when you reach out, usually I'll just fully refund you if you're signing up in the last day or two. So that goes for anybody in the chat if you want to sign up. Shout out the fella John in the chat for bringing that up. I'll put the link to Patreon. That optimizer you're just using, that's ours through Patreon if you want to check it out. And a lot of other tools. The curfew ends April 11th in Miami. Yeah, I know. It ends mid-April, but we were sitting there saying, if they were to make this another couple of weeks, then we're screwed. So I don't want to book a trip. But we're going to go to Fort Lauderdale. Got some friends over there, too. This stream gets me through my cardio, says Austin. Austin, push that button up about another half mile per hour and start running real quick. Sal, you need some neon shirts to pop. You're right, I do. If I can remember, I'll go to neon shirts. The problem with neon shirts is like a lot of greens. Like a lot of greens look good on camera, but with a green screen, you look like you don't have a body. So that's the issue with that. But I like purple. I like pink. All these shirts colors. So yeah, I agree. Some neon shirts to pop. I wouldn't have bought in like this shirt and like 2 other shirts that I actually ended up buying if they had fitting rooms open these days. But taking your shirts off these days in fitting rooms is like against the law. But I can go to a grocery store with like 300 people and it's fine. Pokovetsky under 25. It's not really a play for me there, honestly. Play JLI on Prize Picks. I don't know what that is. Is that another sport? Thoughts on Jason Tatum with Jaylen Brown out? I got him for like 44 points. Evan Fournier is actually in, so it doesn't give you the same exact total drop-off when Brown's usually out and Tatum's in there, right? So Tatum's in a player pool. He's fine, though. I think whoever starts for Dort could be in play today. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they do with the lineup. They can start anybody there. Like, they can surprise people and start fucking Justin Jackson, right? They can start Kendrick Williams, right? So all of them are pretty bad players, but somebody's going to have to pick up usage there. So here's my OKC minutes right now on the screen. Denny today? Nah. Getting any Terrence Mann? Not as of right now. He does look appealing, I'll give you that. But he shot what? He shot like 8 of 12 in that last game, 75% or something like that. So, like, if you're looking at his last game box score and that's the only reason you want to play him, even though Rondo's still not playing and Bev's out, there's still enough guys on that team to go around. High-producing players, obviously George and Kawhi. And he's not going to shoot 75% again. Final look on Prize Picks. Yeah, so we just talked about Prize Picks a little. I'm not sure if you were in here yet. I'm still waiting to see what happens with Julius Randle. I like him on an over individually, but also his other players on his team. Like, I'm leaning Burks under right now, and I'll definitely place it if Randle gets ruled out. The under, or if Randle gets ruled in. But the over on Joe Harris, the over on Nance, the over on Towns, and the under on Burks. Waiting on that, though. D. White or Richardson? Give me D. White. What do you think? What do you have Terrence Davis projected at? Not much. Yeah, so Davis is going to, I don't know if this is the debut. Is this his first game playing with Sacramento? I have Terrence Davis for 8.5 points. I know DeLon Wright played the last game. Go DFS. So I'll give me 2 locks on Prize Picks. Yeah, I mean, the ones that look the best are really waiting on this Julius Randle news. But Harris over 21 seems very appealing. Joe Harris. Nance over 31 definitely is not a lock, though. That's the issue. Because that's definitely not a lock. The blocks make it a little bit more appealing, though. Sal, can you put the chat in slow mode? Yeah, sadly I can't. Maybe I can like via the YouTube. I don't know. Like I'm not streaming this through YouTube. I'm streaming this through a third party, so I don't have some features that I normally do, sadly. But it does allow me to stream over to Twitch and Twitter, which I mean, like 500 people usually at least tune in for a second over on Twitter. So I think it's worth it over there. Last spot, Tatum or Zion? I'll take Tatum there. Did you notice Luka is small forward eligible now? Yeah, he used to be, right? Sal, not DFS related, but top 3 books, no order. I'm looking to read more. Yeah, I don't think I have a top 3. It depends on like the phase of your life you're in. If you're in like the wanting to get out of my 9-to-5 life, if you're in the health lifestyle, if you're in the mindset lifestyle, learning about your personal finance, like it really depends on the stage of your life. So all the books that I've read in like the last 2.5 years, I would say like 80% of the books that I've read are on my Instagram highlights. There's just like little highlights, so you can check them out over there if you want to. You can just follow me on Instagram if you want. So I'll just pull up my Instagram just so you can see like exactly what I'm talking about. So all them motherfucking books are on my Instagram highlights, which is right here. Books. And then go ahead and you can click on that bad boy and it'll scroll you through all the books that I've read in like the last, I want to say, this is probably since I half a month before I graduated. So like the last 2.5 years about. And there's probably like 4 or 5 that aren't in here. I've also, you can see here, like a couple months back, it's 26 weeks ago, I started to do some listening through Audible. I'll probably get back onto that grind. The Ryan Holiday books are incredible. I'm reading the other 2 right now. I've read 2 of his. I'm reading 2 more. This book, I mean, if you're like, it got a lot of hype in my opinion, New York Times bestseller. I love Jocko, right? I like exactly a lot of his content, but it wasn't, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't the greatest unless you're like in a leadership position in a corporate company. It's probably not going to be that helpful, to be honest with you. So if you're looking for just mindset stuff and to like realize that your day-to-day problems don't mean shit unless you're dying or somebody you care about is dying, like they don't mean shit. When Breath Becomes Air is absolutely incredible. And Tuesdays with Morrie, this one right here. So When Breath Becomes Air and Tuesdays with Morrie are probably my 2 favorite books that I've read ever. And they're just going to like put life in perspective for you. So like today when I'm stressing out about like doing some of the, and these are some of the other books, and I just got these ones. So I'm working on these other 2 right now. Ego is the Enemy and the barrier or the whatever the fuck is the way. The obstacle is the way. So that's a lot of people in the chat right now who don't read and just like, what the fuck, you nerd? I'll be like, yeah, big nerd season. You like PG-13 and Quiet together tonight? Not together. Holy crap, how many spammers are on the stream? Any love for my Bills if Levine sits? Yeah, if Levine sits, it gets a lot better for a lot of those guys, yeah. Right now I have interest in Levine. Played $0 yesterday, losing my D-Gen status. I love to hear that. There you go. Take a day off, man. You don't always need to. I just want to say hey to everybody and say good luck. Good luck to you, Evan. I've got only 3 minutes and got to get back to work. Much love, Sal. Love the chat. Let's fucking wreck tonight. My man Evan is a true OG. He can just tune in whenever he can, and he just goes the fuck out. Beal is out today. All right, so Russell Westbrook gets the bump upwards, and the other 8 players that they have that can just all factor into other minutes off the bench, right? Your all of Washington's Troy Brown comes out. Actually, Troy Brown got traded. So your Jerome Robinsons, Isaac Bongas, Anthony Gills, all these guys going to come out of nowhere. I mean, Garrison Matthews gets a pretty nice bump, obviously. Rudy becomes a little bit more stable. Things like that. Sal, with how often you work, how do you balance work time and relationship time with your girlfriend? Yeah, she works from home too, so we see each other a lot. We go on a lot of walks. We're going on like hour-long walks, hang out at night. We go on trips. So I work a lot, but I work a lot less than I used to, right? The first year of doing this, trying to do it on my own, really trying to grind an audience and take advantage of every opportunity I could, it was needed to work 80 to 100-hour weeks. That's clearly not healthy and not sustainable, though, unless you're doing something you love and it doesn't feel like you're working. So for me, this is kind of my hobby, too, which I've been trying to get other hobbies on the side. Now it getting warmer makes that a little bit easier, trying to find other avenues to other part-time side hustles I can work on. But, I mean, it's my hobby. So she works, she has a job. She's working 30 to 40, 45 hours a week, right? Between her remote job at home and some things that she does in person, part-time job. So, I mean, I'm just kind of working when she does. Overlaps a little, but yeah, I mean, we got the weekends. When I also get up at 5 a.m. and I have like my morning video done in 3 hours of work before she gets up around 8. So it works. I do work a lot, but we're always seeing each other. The Twitter reactions are precious. What does that mean? Got to read The Go Giver by Bob Berg. It will change the way you think about your business. Thanks, Richard. That sounds very appealing. I usually, when I get recommendations, I look at the reviews and then I get it. I don't know if Richard, I don't know if you have Twitter or anything, but if you at me on Twitter, or more likely for me to see it, at least if you can DM me on Twitter or Instagram, that book, I'll definitely be able to check it out. Who do you leave out? Cat, Giannis, or Russ? Well, I'm gonna update the projections for this Russ news while we're on the stream, so that will help us out. So let me update the projections so I can actually give you a true answer. Because I had Cat ranked slightly ahead of Giannis, but once I update these projections, can give us a better answer. I'm not leaving out Russ now, though. So it's going to come down to leaving out, if you can find the value, I'd probably leave out Cat now, just because I think the ceiling is more attainable for Giannis. Number the stars. Russ, Giannis, and Cat now. Read that second book in high school. Read The Giver or Fallen Angels. Good stuff. Yeah, they all sound good. I like all the recommendations. For single entries with much value, does it make sense to go very balanced, few 8K or 9K guys and a 9K guy? I mean, I'm always trying to get a 10K plus guy. Some value will now open up in Washington. It's an 11-game slate, so you can be damn sure in the next hour and a half more value will open up. So if no other value opens up, I'd be going, as the slate stands right now, for one 10K plus guy, probably Westbrook or Giannis, and then sliding down from there. But I do believe that you're going to be getting more value on the slate, so probably paying up for a couple of studs today, yeah. Thank you, Sal, for the book talk. We'll give them a read. Yeah, be sure to check it out. Be sure to also follow me on Instagram. We're doing a bunch of different things over there. Instagram is, I let my hair down everywhere, if you will. I don't have no fucking hair to let down, but you know what I mean. So you can follow me over on Instagram. The book stuff goes out over there, just some random ass stuff that I do, some comedy little sketches that I do on Instagram. You can check all that out if you want to follow me over there. It's just more differentiated content, I would say. It's kind of houses a lot of stuff. That's the main reason I like Instagram. I like Twitter. If I post stuff, it's just gone on the timeline eventually, right? No one's ever going to see it if they want to come back and be like, oh, what's Sal doing? Instagram's nice. Obviously, YouTube's in a similar way, just longer form. But Instagram's nice because it's like, oh, I want to make a 1 little minute quick video, like a little skit, like a comedy skit or just something witty. Put it there and it lives there. So people, whenever they find me, they could be like, all right, let's see what this guy's got. And you can get lost in a little bit of a rabbit hole there, right? Sal, I recommend sometime during your life to read The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. Yeah. I mean, if you have a book recommendation that you feel strongly about, be sure to just hit me up on some sort of social media so I can remember it, right? Because I don't have anything to write them down with right now. Jerome Robinson starting for Beal is the news that we just ended up getting. Or at least that's what somebody just stated. It doesn't seem like we have the Fantasy Labs notifications popping up in the chat. I don't know if J Dot's watching this, but if you can remind me the action to get those Fantasy Lab notifications back up, otherwise I'll reach out after. So Jerome Robinson is starting. Wow, that's an early starting lineup. That motherfuckers ain't fucking around tonight. That's an early starting lineup. We'll update for Beal. Sal, how often do you... All right, we already answered that one. Why only 2 minutes for Gafford? He played 14 minutes last game and has 26 fantasy points. I think he's way better than any center they have. I think he's way better than any center they have. I mean, I don't know about that. Yeah, I have him at 2 minutes right now. You can look into the actual reasons why Gafford played in that last game. I guess he would have played probably 10 minutes just based on him getting a little bit of early run. So maybe I should bump him a little bit more. In that game, though, Robinson plays 20 minutes, right? Mo Wagner's now obviously gone from this team. Alex Len only played in that game 15 minutes. I'm projecting Alex Len to play, I believe, 21 today, so that takes away from him. So, yeah. I guess I can give Gafford 6 to 8 minutes maybe, right? He got 3 minutes at the end of the game in blowout run. I could probably give him 6 to 8 minutes. But I'll probably keep him at 2. Does 270 points on an optimizer seem low? No, there's no value right now. So you can't get up to those second studs or those other guys. Oh, damn, you doing the Dave Ramsey thing? I did it. Baby step 4 here, investing 15%. Yeah, I paid off my student loans. I had $90,000 in student loans. Was lucky enough to be able to pay them off in 11 months. So I paid them off last March. Now I'm investing 20%, and I'm trying to find places to put other money because I don't know what the fuck. I have a meeting with trying to discuss some financial advisor stuff, see if I want to get one or not. But yeah, I have a Vanguard right now, Target Fund. But trying to figure out where to put other money. I have stuff in crypto. I have a crypto punk. Just trying to see where to put more money, because just letting it sit a large amount of money in a bank account doesn't seem like the best idea. But I'm basically already maxed out of what I want to do for retirement each month. So now it's figuring out what to do. I have no interest in buying a home anytime within probably the next 5 to 7 years for my personal use, maybe ever. But I might just start looking into rental properties, which I have to learn more about, which is going to be something that I probably do over these next couple of months. Whether it's trying to do the BRRRR process or just have rental homes. Because I need to be put, it ain't going to be working where it's at right now. That's for me. That's for damn sure. Ain't going to be beating inflation in my bank account. Jonas Valanciunas over 13.5 rebounds. I'm probably not going to touch it. Do you like Moses Brown on Prize Picks? No, I think he's appropriately priced over there. We can pull up some of this shit now. So now we ended up just taking out Thomas because I don't want that shit value. I'm going to update this for the Washington projections as well. Probably worth doing that. Let me just get rid of some of these browsers. So let's get some of these projections up. Cool. I'm in Fort Lauderdale. Try Shooter's Restaurant on the inner coastal. Nice. Levine thoughts? Yeah, I think Levine's okay if he plays. He'll be very low in 2, but I'm probably not going to get there in anything with value. Worried about Hardenstein taking away from Nance? No, I only give him 8 minutes today. I'll sign up in a day or 2, says John. Yeah, there you go, my man. There you go. Westbrook over on Prize Picks. Now that Beal is out, I probably should have jumped over to this quicker to react to it, but I assume they've already increased Westbrook from his 53. Yeah, so they've increased Westbrook to 55 now in the projections. I'm going to have Westbrook at 60, so go take this fucking over. If you're watching right now and you're in a state that is legal, or if you're in Canada, wherever it's legal, go take this over on Westbrook. They increased him from 53 or 54 to 55. That is not enough. I'm finishing the projections right now on my other screen. I have Westbrook at 60.7 points tonight. He is now going to be my clear priority option. He is now going to pick up ownership, but I'm fine with that. So I currently have Westbrook as a nice play. Let's see. Rui doesn't change too much. Rui for me goes to 32.3, which is not going to be enough for you to get there. But Rui now does become a pretty solid, if you will, value option. So go right now. Use the code SAL, linked in the description if you want to get there quickly. It's in the description. Takes you to Prize Picks. Type in the code SAL if you just want to play $20. Now you got 40. You want to put $50 in. Now you got 100. They'll match you up to $100. And take Westbrook as one of your options because that is a massively underrated price. And if you're wondering why we're saying this, it's because Bradley Beal was ruled out. I have Westbrook at 60.7 points right now. My only guy projected for 60-plus points today. It's looking good. Now let's start to look into, I'm projecting out the rest of this team. Let's see what starts to look good. Is there any way we're fading Westbrook? I mean, depending on ownership. An 11-game slate, though, naturally the ownership will stay low. I'll be surprised if Westbrook, it depends on your contest, of course, but I'll be surprised if in some of the bigger contests he goes over 30% owned on an 11-game slate. And if he does, and then Giannis is like 10% owned, well, yeah, you have some clear pivot options. But I mean, Westbrook's just on another planet this year, right? The problem with the rest of these guys is there's just so fucking many of them, right? So, like, yeah, if you want to go to Raul Neto, 19.6 points in my projections, there's not much other value, so he's in a player pool, not an interest, though. Denny, right now, I'm projecting out at 20 points flat. That's pretty good at 3,400 in a player pool, not a yes for me, right? Nothing changes really for Alex Len for me. Robin Lopez, nothing is going to change for me. Garrison Matthews goes to 19.3. So, again, like all these 3K options look good. Somebody from these value plays is going to get you there. Somebody out of all these 3K, maybe even multiple guys now with no Beal, are going to score 20 plus points. It's just who, and you have no fucking clue. You really don't. Like the starters will give us a little bit more context. We've gotten those now with Jerome Robinson at 3K flat. Jerome Robinson for me is grading out for 18.2 points right now. So that's clearly nice in terms of a point per dollar value, but how good is it really? Cassius Winston, I really, 2.5 points. I don't think he's going to play that much. Nothing changes all that much for Hutchinson. Somebody asked earlier about Daniel Gafford. I have Daniel Gafford. I am now giving him 10 minutes. So Daniel Gafford does come up for me from the 2 minutes I had him at earlier. So I'm giving Daniel Gafford 10 minutes now. It puts him at 12 fantasy points flat. Anybody else in here going to look decent? Isaac Bonga just stinks overall. Not really going to happen there for him as a small forward anyways. Yeah, so I think we've gotten this down. Anthony Gill doesn't change. He actually goes down a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to update these projections now. A lot of guys from Washington now are values. All of them, though, are at 18 to 20 points. So none of it's going to win you a slate. But somebody out of them will probably do something decent for you. So now let's actually, we'll rebuild here. Go ahead. Get this over right now. I have Russell Westbrook at 60.7 points. Let's refresh this and see if they've updated it. Now, they're always listening. They didn't update it yet. I wouldn't touch anything with Rui Hachimura. I already have him at the appropriate spot. I have him at 32 points and change. You're not going to get much more value there. But Russell Westbrook over 55 is a must starting spot. A must starting spot. Do you punt with Ben McLemore? No. You do not punt with Mr. Benjamin McLemore. So for all the Patreons right now, we are updating as it currently stands. Beal being out. I'm going to check any of the other news because I'm sure something else. I'm not sure because we're getting close to being an hour away from lock, right? Hour and a half. I'm updating on my hand. I appreciate all 300 people up in here chilling out, relaxing, maxing, all motherfucking cool. Any other news dropping right now? No other news is currently dropping. Eric Paschal listed out 25 seconds ago. Steph probable. We already have him ruled in today. Underwent successful foot surgery. Alrighty. We'll make it a brew. Cool. Alrighty. So Pascal being ruled out is the only thing that I'll have to change right now. Nothing crazy though. Cool. Congrats, Sal, says Duggan. On what? I'm surprised you don't bet on game/totals with some sort of system. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Betting in the NBA is extremely difficult, so I have no real interest. I do bet NFL. I do bet PGA. And we actually have done really well in PGA. I think we've hit 6 winners in the PGA so far this year. 6 winners out of, I want to say, 10 events, 11 events. So we've done really well in the PGA this year. So, yeah, I mean, I have a system, if you will. Like, I have data. I understand the undervalued lines. In the NFL, you better be betting on Monday morning, Tuesday at the latest. Otherwise, you're not getting the best lines. The NBA is a very... I don't bet anything NBA-wise outside of player props. You can bet player props on anything, but I don't bet lines, totals, anything like that. It's just entertainment if you are. There's been no real edge for anybody in NBA betting streets, and if they have told you that, show me 10 years of success, not 1 year where they won 55% of their bets, right? Ownership on Westbrook is going to be high right now. Yeah, it's going to be high, but you have to remember, it's not a 6-game slate. It's an 11-game slate. So even if people know that Beal's out and he's going to be popular, like it's still really difficult, especially at the price point. The most expensive player, yes, looking really good now. Highest projection, yes. Grading out is a great value as well, point per dollar wise. But an 11-game slate naturally lowers your ownership. So how high owned will Westbrook be today? I will be surprised if Westbrook is in the 30% range, like 30-35% range on an 11-game slate. If you told me it was a 7-game slate, yeah, he's going to be 30+% owned. I would be surprised if he is on this type of a slate. Now, I expect him to be the highest owned guy or one of the 2 or 3 highest owned guys, depending on what the rest of the value does. Somebody says, I'll take great care of it. Chandler Hutchinson will make Wizards debut. What's your thoughts on that, Sal? Yeah, I projected in Chandler Hutchinson. I'll change all the projections on the screen right now for the minutes on these guys. But I had Chandler Hutchinson at like 7 or 8 fantasy points. I was already expecting him to play today. I actually gave him a bump with obviously Beal out. But let me update the minutes. Let me pull them from my main database sheet that hopefully doesn't slow down the motherfucking video. Somebody says, invest in marijuana. Once it goes legal everywhere, watch out. I was a turf science major, and a lot of kids at that time when it was not legal in a lot of spots or nationally, I believe, a lot of people in my major were like, yeah, we're just doing this so we can get in the marijuana business. And I was just like, these people are crazy. Worked out pretty easily for them. But yeah, Yeah. I would say that I don't have any interest in investing in like individual stocks or anything like that. So if that's what you're saying, like unless like a marijuana company came out to me and actually offered me like stake in the company to either promote it or just be more so of like a media asset, a marketing consultant for them, then I would do it. But I have like, that's what I guess I'm looking into right now as well. Like investing in other types of companies that are clearly like not direct competitors offering same products, but kind of like a horizontal, if you will, or more so a vertical, right? A vertical that can actually be integrated into what I do. So which would be on the betting side. But yeah, let's update Washington's mini-osos right now. So Mr. Westbrook I had at 37 minutes. That's not going to change. Not much more for him to go there. I already had 38 minutes on Rui. That's not going to change for me. Nothing going to change for Len. Robin Lopez, I'm going to keep there as well. Actually, let's go 16 on Robin Lopez. Nato, I'm going to put to 24. Garrison Matthews, I'm going to put to 24. Denny, I have at 26. Danny Gafford, I had at 10. Jerome Robinson is starting, and I have him at 24. There's just too many bodies out there. It's hard for him to get, like, consistent run. Winston, none. Anthony Gill, 2. We'll put 2 and 2 because it doesn't really matter either way. Hutchinson, I have at 12. And Isaac Abanga, I have at 6. So these are the updated minutes on the Washington fellas. So now, with all that news that we end up having, let's go back into the optimizer and let's refresh it and let's see what happens here. So let's build a new build. Let's go 34% randomness. Let's go 3 from a team with 3 uniques. Let's see what happens if we build out some lineups now with those new guys in. Bledsoe tonight, not for me. Who do we pair Westbrook with? I mean, you're looking for a pay-up option? We need to find out more value. Somebody says crypto is all that you need. Nah, fella. I ain't that buried in the weeds of the crypto world. Look, I get it. I get the upside of crypto. I have a fucking crypto punk for Jesus Christ and Bitcoin myself. But there's some people out there in the Twitter sphere that once you get into these thought bubbles about something, oh man, does their head just start spinning. Clearly, Bitcoin's not going anywhere anytime soon, right? I'm not a financial advisor. But that being said, the people that are going 100% of their assets into this are, people that are going 100% of their retirement or their assets into this. You can like clip this in 10, 20, 30 years and I could be completely wrong. Those people could have won, but that is some crazy risk to be taking. Because that's betting on that actually taking over everything with no downside. Like 100% of your assets in the stock market isn't even a good idea. You should not have 100% of your assets in the stock market, whether it's you have a bank account, whether it's you have real estate, alternative investments. I mean, CDs and treasury shit doesn't seem like the best options, but just anything other than just the market. But yeah, it's crazy. The crypto Twitter sphere is a wild place. It's a lot of people puffing their chest out real wide. Saturansky or Kobe White? Saturansky. Sal, how often do you go 5-on-5 on Prize Picks, and how many entries do you play tonight? I don't play the 5 ones on Prize Picks. I usually go 2 to 3. A lot of my Prize Pick entries are just 2. I'm choosing this guy and that guy. Why? Because there's a better chance that it hits. Oh, but you're not going to 10x your money. Okay, you're going to hit those very, very few times. I don't think I've done a 5-of-5 yet. I've only done 4-4s with my girlfriend because she wanted to on her account. But I've done just 2 and 3s right now. 300 people in here, 78 likes. Let's get that number up. Yo, if you're watching right now, if you're here for the first time live, all 308, 310, whoever's watching on some other platforms, take a second of your time. Subscribe to the channel. How you doing? We go live every single day right around 5 p.m. East Coast time for these slates. We have videos in the morning. We have some golf content that'll probably come out tomorrow because your boy's pretty tired today, and I don't really want to be putting that much more strain on this mind over here. Pretty stressed out already. Here's some all the work that we got going on today. Monday's a busy day with golf starting back up, right? Working through the weekend like usual. So yeah. Subscribe to the channel. Do that shit. We're going to have some NFL content coming out pretty soon. No MMA this week, but we got golf. We got a lot of NBA. Any Mavs in play for you? Yeah, Luke is in play. Porzingis is in play. That's about it. Larry Nance, questionable illness. Uh-oh. Sal, what's your projection on Kevin Porter? Well, let's pull up right now. Pull up. Drank. Headshot. Drank. Let's pull up Houston. You can see I have Kevin Porter for 28 minutes today. And I currently, as it resides right now, have Mr. Kevin Porter, and then we'll go over and look at these new crunches, at 29 fantasy points in change. Curry is probable. Yep. Curry is indeed probable. Should we pair Westbrook with Fox? I'm not that high on Fox. Larry Nance is now questionable. Who do we go with if he is out? Whoever starts. If it's Dean Wade, right? We'll see if Torian Prince ends up starting. He's questionable today. Chetty Osman can move to the 4. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Hartenstein can pick up more run, right? Somebody says CBD. Yeah, I got CBD. I got a lot of CBD. The 1,500 milligram multivitamin ones. They seem good. I thought about coming out with my own CBD, Big Energy. Call it Big Energy. My own CBD. I mean, you could just white label these things like they're nothing. The problem is I don't want to deal with inventory, so I guess I would like drop ship them, which I don't know the entire system right now, and don't have the time to look into that stuff. But yeah, I've been thinking about having a CBD product, if anything, just for myself, right? I mean, it's not like I have to pay if you drop ship it. Invest in real estate, you'll make a good landlord. Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, investing in real estate is the next option, probably later this year, or early next year. $7,700 two max at $30. $30 is a lot for me. Do I need to enter twice from a professional standpoint? In the two max, you could just enter once. You're not that far out leveraged by other people. What do you have Mo Wagner, before people yell at me, Mo Wagner projected for? 4.5 fantasy points today for Boston. Any good super draft plays today? Oh, yeah, we got some good super draft plays. Don't forget. I mean, let's look at what super draft's filling at. Super draft, they're starting their contest, I believe, still a little bit later on. But let's see what their contest is currently filling at. Because yesterday it filled nowhere near what it needed to. So currently Superdraft is filling at 269 people. There's still some more time. They don't start right at 7. I believe they might start at 7:30 today is the plan there. So 18% filled. Less than 2 hours until lock. I mean, if you're not playing on Superdraft yet, or at least attempting to play over there, you're beating a quarter of the field at least tonight, probably based on this. At least a quarter of the field to try and win $5,000, which is a good chunk of money. You want to use the code SAL, you could use it. We talked about this morning. They're giving away some free vacations to all my users and people that sign up. Free vacation raffles, that's pretty good. But these super draft plays that do indeed stand out. Now let's pull back up the lineup optimizer as I talk through some of this stuff. These super draft plays that are going to stand out today for me are going to be, outside of your obvious ones up top, the high multiple or the lower multiplier guys, Sexton has a 1.5x multiplier today. Looks like a very nice option. So Sexton's going to look like a nice option. We can see some more differences in the lineups now that the optimizer is building out, now that we have some value. This would be your example of a fully balanced lineup. So somebody asked earlier, would you just play the guys in the 7 and 8K range, right? Not touch the 9K and above. This would be what that looks like if you want to go fully balanced with the lineup. Now we have a little bit more value. Makes it more viable to get to more 7K options. This is if you go for a couple of pay-ups in Towns and a Luka Doncic, courtesy of the Big Energy Optimizer. That's what that logo is above my head. Big Energy. Little website that we have coming out pretty soon is going to be nice. Mo Wagner or Gafford? If I had to pick one, Gafford, but neither. Should we fade Kawhi and George tonight? Yeah, you can. There's way more options. Your age should be bond percentage general recommendation. I'm not sure what that means, my man Giles. I assume you mean low bond percentage in there, right? Yeah, I don't have any. I mean, the target fund that I'm in, I think, has 5% bonds, 95% stocks right now. The Vanguard target fund, but that's going to probably move pretty soon. Is Gafford a must-start sleeper? Good matchup. I mean, I don't know why people like Gafford. I mean, the man played like 12 minutes in the last 13 minutes. He played well, and people are like jumping on top of him. I got Gafford at 10 minutes of play today. So I don't know what's going on there. But Super Draft plays Sexton at 1.5x, Larry Nance at 1.55x. He's questionable now, but just track that. Yeah, I mean, I still like Fox at 1.3x multiplier. Randall, if he plays at 1.2x. Some other guys that might be a little bit more under the radar. 1.45x on DeJounte Murray. I think people will forget about him today. Steph Curry, I think people will forget about him. He has a 1.3x multiplier. He's undervalued everywhere, underpriced everywhere today. 1.3x is pretty insane for Steph Curry. A little bit further down, some higher multiplier guys, 1.75x on Theo Maledon. You're kind of going for some flyers here, and Derek White. What do you think of RJ Barrett, Sal? The only way I'll have interest in RJ Barrett today, and we'll pull up another option. I'm curious of what these lineup constructions are looking like. The only way that I have RJ Barrett, seems like Sabin Lee's getting into a lot of them, is if Randall's out. I don't like RJ Barrett other than that. The price point's way too high. So this is now where we're starting to get. So Denny's becoming more of a value. I think I'm going to increase the randomness on some of this. We're getting equal amounts close to it of Moses Brown, Robert Williams. So it's interesting because right here we're not getting lots of. Where's Russ? Like Russ isn't popping up in this, so something has to be wrong there. Yeah, this is clearly not. So Russ at 10%. That can't be right. So let's do this now. Let's make sure that the projection on Russ actually went through properly. The updated projection. So Russ. Let's go with that. And now let's re-crunch that shit. Let's actually see what happens if you don't do anything from a randomness standpoint and see like what the optimal, quote unquote, optimal lineups look like tonight. I actually want to build 150. So this is what'll be happening if you just go for just to see like what the top projected lineups will probably be like before you start to take into account randomness. You should write a book or do streams on life. You're very smart and successful, and I would definitely listen to it or read it. Thanks for Sal, everything. Look forward to your videos. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I want to do a show in that area. I just don't know exactly how. I'd like to do it with like a closer friend. There's been a show idea that I have for this industry specifically, but there's like one or two people that I would like to do it with, and one's really busy right now. Probably bring it up to him again, and the other one is contractually right now seems a little bit weird for him to get out of his current situation or get approval from his other situation. So there's an interesting show idea that I have for that. But in terms of just like, I mean, I want to just do a show on like life itself. I think those are good. Like Mike, formerly known as Mike Stud, Mike has a podcast. You Never Know, it's called, and it's a really good podcast. It's very spirituality based, just like thinking, like it's just former athlete since musician, like jock, if you will, literally talking about his feelings, like with his other people, and like trying to break down into the psyche of why people turned out to be the way they were, their successes and things like that. It's pretty interesting. Kind of a little bit like the Mike Tyson podcast. They go into that somewhat. But I don't have interest in that so much, but I do have interest in having another type of a podcast to do as a side hustle. I just have to figure out the genre that what I would like to do that in. I have one idea for this space. Like I said earlier, I have another, I don't have another idea for another space. I guess I should say, general podcast, just bringing on people like a Joe Rogan type podcast. Probably not going to be it for me, to be honest. Too many people doing that these days. Just join. What are your thoughts on Theo Maledon? Yeah, I like Theo Maledon. I think he's okay. He has to get you the minutes, though. Like, if he only plays 32 minutes a night, I don't think he will. But if he only does, you're not going to go anywhere with that. But we have too small of a sample. This OKC team is a brand new team in the NBA right now. Just picture it that way. You have about 2 games of a sample of this unit playing basketball with no SGA, with no Baisley, with no Lou Dort today in the concussion protocol, and now Al Horford not playing on this team anymore. So, like, this OKC team today, brand new team. So, Theo Maledon, yeah, at $5,800, as I expect to be the ball dominant player with a decent assist percentage on this team, right? Him and like Ty Jerome going to be handling the point today. Yeah, they don't have much guards left on this team. They have Theo Maledon, Ty Jerome, and Svi can go and play shooting guard and handle the point as a small forward, right? After that, they just got a bunch of big guys. They got Justin Jackson, and big guys meaning small forwards as well, power forwards. Mike Muscala, Tony Bradley, right? Moses Brown, Pokovetsky, Isaiah Roby. Like, they have just a shit ton of forwards. So I expect Theo Maledon to have to play a bigger minutes. Yeah. Is Damian Dotson playing any minutes? I don't think I have him projected today. I don't have Dotson in today. We'll see if that changes if news happens. Sal, can you put up the top 12 plays if you have any? Yeah, so I mean, the top 12 plays from this morning, they have changed. I could throw the new ones as of right now on the slate. I will be putting a disclaimer as I pop this up there, though, that one of these guys is not even going to probably make a player pool for me, and he ends up actually being the top projected guy. So let's do this. So this is the top 12 from this morning. I'll just update it to this. So this is the top 12 current plays based on projections. And this first guy, Broderick Thomas, I mean, if Nance is out, it only looks a little bit more stable for him. But he right now is a guy that I'm looking to try and get away from because he's a shooting guard that is cheap, but now there's some more cheap options out there. He'll probably pick up a decent amount of ownership as well. So yeah, that is where I'm at currently right now. Lots of guys, lots of cheap 3K guys that you probably don't want to get too stuck up on, right? You don't want to get too hung up on these Washington 3K guys today. Their entire team their team literally goes expensive Westbrook, pretty expensive Russell Beal, average price Rui because he actually plays minutes, and then everybody else is in the fucking 3K range. Like, this team is absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, a lot of them are going to start to pop up in that top 12. This top 12 is taking into account price, so ceiling is not so much taken into account in this basic rating of value. So keep that in mind when these guys play on the same team, and they're scoring 18 today is going to be good point per dollar wise, but an 11-game slate, probably going to leave you hanging in the dust. Leave you hanging in the dust. Let's try this bad boy again. Oh, yeah. Stack Tennessee. Stack Tennessee. I don't know where the fuck I saw Tennessee. I saw TN. Does that mean Toronto? What is the question after that? Gafford, value Salvatore, tell us do we play him in cash? Never that. Never that, sir. Never that, sir. Let's build 150 out right here. Do I not have the right slate selected? Okay, here we go. There we go. Get the right slate up. Westbrook shot up to 59. Damn. Hopefully the people watching this stream were able to take advantage of that Westbrook number, man. Shit. If you weren't able to take advantage of that, 55, now it's at 59. Damn, they shot that up. Kelly O'Sal tonight? No. Haven't you Whisper Snapper seen Reefer Madness? I have not, personally. I have not. Any interest in Steph? It's going to be interesting. I want to see if they put a minutes limit on Steph. I'm not projecting in Steph for full minutes right now. So I'm expecting him to have a minutes limit around 30 and not just play 36 minutes today. So I don't have interest, but if there's no news on that, I might have to bump it up. Is Siakam in your top 20 tonight, Sal? Siakam right now ranks out today as my 23rd overall play. But keep in mind, a lot of like 3K guys are in there. So yeah, he's basically right there. Do an optimizer only Patreon option. Yeah, I guess it's a good idea. It's a little bit more difficult with Patreon though, because it's kind of an add-on thing. Once the WordPress site is up, hopefully by May, we'll be able to do that more easily because we can just make pages like member only, right? But with Patreon, it's a little bit different. The problem with doing the optimizer only version of that is the optimizer comes loaded with my projections. It comes loaded with my projections, ownership for other sports, so you can easily pay for that's the issue with it, right? It comes loaded with that, and there's no way in Patreon for me to set it to make it not come that way right now. So, yeah, that's the issue with that. Sal, thanks for the great content. Question, what's going on, Noah? I just saw you follow me, Noah Gustavon on Twitter. Should I still play the big Super Draft contest, even only playing one entry? Yeah, you should. The big contests I don't like, that's known, but when they don't fill, they're the best contests, right? Any contest that doesn't fill by, even 5% and cancels out the rate that much, let alone 20 to 25% or like 35% like it was yesterday, yes, you go ahead and you play those for sure. For show. Justin Holiday, if Doug McDermott is out, no. Moses Brown on Super Draft tonight. For me, what is his multiplier over there? Moses Brown on Super Draft tonight for me is probably not going to be all that interesting. Is he even on Super Draft tonight? Let me see this. Why is he not? Oh, is he popping up as a... yeah, so Moses Brown is currently not looking like a good player over there. 1.25x, that's not great. Like, Towns at 1.1x. There's no way they're that close, right? You have Vooch right now with basically the same multiplier as Moses Brown. That's not appropriate. Can you play both Robinson and Denny together? Yeah, but you're giving up a lot of upside, right? Like, Robinson and Denny are the definition of guys who struggle to get to 24 fantasy points. So you're taking on a lot of risk playing one of them. That gets mitigated by getting to go up to a Westbrook and or a Giannis. So if you want to play a Robinson and a Denny together, you have to hope that they go for their 22 to 24 plus fantasy points, and the two studs, let's say Giannis and Russ, both go for their 65, 60 plus, right? Is Vooch a sneaky play? I think so. It wasn't god-awful in that last game. Vooch I won't get to outside of on Super Draft because it's a nice multiplier. I won't get to Vooch until we get Zach LaVine news, though. Any builds for GPP? If indeed we get Zach LaVine news, it would be Vooch for me. Laurie looks decent, but it's tough to get there now with the rebounding rate. Brad Stevens said Fournier will play significant minutes tonight. Says John, what is it, on Twitter? John O'Billy? Yeah, I've got him playing normal minutes. I have 33 minutes in for Evan Fournier tonight. He's in a player pool for me. Is TLC in play for value or Garrison better? I don't have TLC looking like anything today, especially with Kyrie Irving back. So Garrison better. Sal, you going to try and get up to Westbrook and Giannis in the same lineup today? Says Zay. Zay, what's going on, my man? Fellow, what the fuck was that? Fellow fella is a hard thing to say. Fellow fella in the Discord, Zay, in here. That is always my goal, to get up to two studs. I need more value than just this Washington shit, though. So we have another hour to hopefully get more value, maybe some after that. But, yeah, it's a little bit difficult otherwise. Let me pull up Fantasy Labs just to see if any other news came out so people aren't coming for my neck in the chat. Larry Nance still questionable. Aldridge unlikely to make debut. Kobe White questionable. All right, I'll update the Eric Paschal stuff, by the way, too. That's all your fault they moved it up, Sal? Probably, honestly. Tiger Queer says you don't have an OnlyFans? Relax, fella. How can we DM or text? I actually was very close to hitting publish on the community. I guess I still can. It's called Community. It's a texting. It's like an email marketing for texting, except it's supposed to be more personalized. I might do that because that's like an interesting way to communicate with an audience. Like very high open rates too from like that side of things. My Twitter DMs are open, but like I don't answer questions in Twitter DMs of like, should I start this guy or how's this lineup? I just like immediately mute that person because like, what are you doing, guy? But yeah, there's no DMs on Patreon. Otherwise, I'd be getting fucking 500 messages a day. Last thing I want to do. Rank Kawhi, Middleton, DeRozan, please. Kawhi, DeRozan, Middleton, that order. If Nance is out, do you like Hardenstein? If he starts. Otherwise, no. You like the Thunder guys on Superdraft today. The Thunder guys on Superdraft, I mean, Moses Brown has a high multiplier already over there. So these Thunder guys aren't standing out. Like Theo Maledon is a 1.75x. He looks interesting. He's not a yes for me, though, but he's like the most interesting Thunder. Outside of Theo Maledon, though, I don't think there's another Thunder that even looks half decent today. So I think Maledon's like the only guy. Yeah, he's the only Thunder guy that I would even look at. Today. Matthew Rappaport, what's up, boss man? He says your top 3 Rockets today. Yeah, let's look at the Houston Rockets minutes, and then we'll look at the crunch lineups today. So right now I'd rank it John Wall, Christian Wood, and then insert whoever the hell you want after that. I don't have another interest in Houston right now. Yeah, they're just all too split up in terms of their prices still being a little bit high for some guys being out. I would rank my third option Kevin Porter Jr. Tate is nowhere near being in there, especially with House and Porter Jr. now back. Thoughts on Draymond with Curry back? No interest. Price is too high. Beasley over 27 on Prize Picks, says Dan Foster. I actually have a lean on that. Yeah, I have Beasley at 31 fantasy points tonight, so I do have a lean on that. So again, we'll make the final call right now. Hopefully you got in on the over 55 on Westbrook. It's now up to 59 once I refresh the screen. Hopefully you got in on that. But depending on what happens with Julius Randle, if he's in, we take the over 42. I have him at 48 and change. If he's out, we again go ahead and we take the over on RJ Barrett. But Larry Nance is questionable. If you play him and he gets ruled out, that's fine. So we take the over on Randle. We already got some lineups with the over on Russell Westbrook. I like the over on Joe Harris, 21. So those are 2 spots. And then we talked about some more, like the under on Alec Burks if Randle is in, and the over on Randle himself. Very appealing. So you can try this out. It's linked down below. Just use my name when you sign up, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100 Rooskies. We talked about some other ones earlier on if you want to just like scroll back. Nance if he indeed plays, but we have to wait on that a little bit more. Alrighty. So now we're starting to get some more lineups. These ones are going to be looking pretty chalky. These ones are also going to be having a lot of Washington guys. A lot of value pieces in there. Look at all the fucking value. Like, these lineups look like shit for an 11-game slate. This one right here, if you're playing this in cash tonight, God bless you. You really want to be playing Giannis and Russ that badly. To play fucking Sabin, Lee, and Thomas together is a death sentence, and then you're going to play Jerome Robinson and Denny. So this is a lineup when you don't put rain in the sun. So I do have like uniques in place still, but these are like types of lineups that are going to project out highly tonight for you. They're obviously going to go up for the guys who are projecting close to 60 points. Russ over 60 points, barely at 60.7 for me. But man, oh man, these lineups just look brutal. I mean, these lineups look brutal. I don't have any filters on either for guys from a team, so you will get these 4 in these. So this is before I put any rules in place, any randomness, right, to try and leverage ownership. This is just letting the optimizer run without you putting more advanced steps into it. And what it's going to give you is a lot of shit. And what does that mean? It means a lot of value plays because it wants you to pay up for the guys who are projecting out highly. This one has Kawhi, Towns, and Russell Westbrook, right? But then look at your other options. I mean, Robert Williams is in there. Sabin Lee's fine if he starts again. Then you're really hoping on these guys coming through for you. And honestly, I don't hate Denny. I don't hate Jerome Robinson since he's starting. I don't love him by any means. I mean, I'm just really skeptical of Thomas and the fact that these guys are going to be highly owned. We're going to get more value, or at least I hope so. Claxton tonight, not for me, my man. Your most confident bet tonight, I mean, it was Russell Westbrook over 55 points. It'll be Julius Randle over 42, assuming that he does suit up. I'm thinking Westbrook and Mitchell for my 2 pay-ups. There you go. I assume Conley, we don't have any news on Conley, but the last time was just a maintenance day, they said, so I assume he's playing. I'm in right now. What's up, Sal? KPA, good option. Go to Glow says, KP is in a player pool for me. I have him at 40 points, so he looks okay. Pick 2, Westbrook, Luka, Giannis if you had to. Westbrook and Giannis. We like to connect with people, DM or text. We prefer if you add that option. I don't know what option you're talking about. Yeah, I have my DMs open on Twitter. But that's more so for like almost like customer service basically customer service. They were opened up for people that were dealing with mental health problems. If anybody wanted to reach out to me, that's still clearly on the table. Anybody listening right now dealing with anything, doesn't have anybody to talk to, conversation goes a long way. Getting some perspectives goes a long way. Being able to talk goes a long way, even if it's through text. So that's why they're opened up originally. I have no interest in spending my days. Like, this is what this live stream's for, or if you're in the Discord. If you're in the Discord, you can at me or you can talk to people in there as well. But that's the time that I put towards answering like lineup-based questions. Otherwise, I don't have the time to be doing that. If avoiding Washington value, where do we go? Yeah, nowhere. I mean, you go to Sab and Lee, right? Or you build a balanced lineup. I mean, I'm not against playing Washington value. I just really am terrified of it right now, and I don't expect to play more than one of them. Towns looking like best stud against Brooklyn after Westbrook. I still lean Giannis just because I think Giannis. So Towns grades out for me as the better play, but it's very close. The projection, it's Giannis. It's very close. Like Towns is my number 11 overall play, and Giannis is my number 12. So they're clearly neck and neck. I have Giannis for 3 more points. I'll take Giannis over Towns. The price difference, though, is the issue, right? So if it's a strain on you, yeah, just go to Towns. Like they're basically the same play for me today value-wise. But I think the more achievable ceiling of the 60 to 70 points is clearly there for Giannis. Is it okay to not get 2 studs? I mean, as of right now, yeah, we don't have much value, which stinks. Thoughts on Harden today? He's going under the radar, I'll tell you that much. Kyrie back, 10,900. Can still ball the fuck out for 1.5 fantasy. He's going under the radar, I'll tell you that much. I'm going to consider Westbrook plus Harden in lineups if we get some more value. But right now, I'm just sticking with Giannis. What about LeVert? Not for me, overpriced. Or right now, I'm just sticking with Westbrook. LeVert overpriced for me. I'd rather go to Brogdon on the same team, same price point. Any love for J-Val or Brogdon? Yeah, Brogdon's still a top 12 play. Or not. He was a top 12 play this morning. He's not anymore. But Brogdon's still cheap. Yeah, if you just fall in that range, he's there. The problem is there's just better options in that range. Like whether it's Moses Brown right now, whether it's DeJounte Murray at 7,100, Kyle Lowry at 7,400, right? Even Robert Williams across different positions. So it's a little bit tougher to get there. Sexton, I'd rather get to at 7,400. But Brogdon right now is currently a yes for me. J-Val, not too much there. Tiger Queer says, you don't want to connect with fans or supporters. That's why we ask. My man Tiger Queer. What a name, first of all. Second, what do you think we're doing right now, guy, for the past hour and 10 minutes? Tiger in the chat says, you don't want me to DM you at 9:30 p.m. at night on Instagram and you won't answer me? Come on, guy. Relax. You want to exchange receipts or what? Yeah. I think people don't understand the context of time. I think they think I just like sit in my room here all day and then just answer people's messages. Trust me, I'm in the Discord often. And that's the spot where you'll find me for that type of like lineup advice. That's where I put all the energy. That's why the Discord is a thing. If you want to get your questions answered, you can go up in there. But if you think I'm going to spend my time and my days answering, like I see people on Twitter talking about like like people on Twitter that are talking about, and maybe people right now are watching this on Twitter, I don't give a fuck, that just talk about like the NFL draft nonstop for the past like 3 months, are talking about this guy versus this guy and like their weights that's just coming out. I think that's all good to do. Like I want that information. I want to know how fast this guy ran, right? When we don't have the combine this year. But Jesus Christ, like these people are out there just like fighting with each other that, oh, I planted my flag on this guy. I'm just like, yo, these are the people that are reaching into my DMs to like ask me a question to then like argue with it. I'm like, yo, I ain't got that type of time. I do this shit for a living. The last thing I want to be doing is arguing with people. Like I was recently I was playing Pong a couple weeks back, and there's just like a normal sports argument that started to break out. Like this guy's better than this guy, and this guy's better than this guy in the NBA. And then they asked for my input, and I was like, yo, I know I work in this like sports space and like the betting space. I work in the betting and DFS space. I don't give a fuck about sports themselves. Like this guy versus this guy, who's better? I don't give a shit. I don't have any stakes on that. If I bet on one for MVP, yeah, I'll state my case if I have a wager on it. But like I have no care in the world about the outside of the bets that I have placed on guys in lineups and props and things like that. No care in the world on what these guys do in the sports world. Fournier make a big debut with no Brown. Yeah, Fournier in the player pool. I got him at 33 minutes. He looks good. Malik Beasley on Prize Picks over 27. The only plays. Jim says, I don't know how you do it sometimes, Sal. I applaud you. I mean, it's just like mainly trolls, right? Just reading books is how I do it, I guess. Also, not having apps on my phone is how I do it. Twitter is the only app I have on my phone, and it's the worst app I have on my phone. I mean, Twitter might be news. It is the best app in the world to get news. But overall, I think Twitter might be the worst app in the App Store. Like if you're just talking about overall. The amount of things that I see on Twitter that are beneficial to me is 1%. It's literally NBA news. That's about it. Like NBA news comes out, that's literally it. And like a couple of people post important stats that I think are cool, right? That's literally it. DMs to answer some people and like hop on people's shows. That's it. Like 1%. The rest of it is just like the biggest time waster. So if I can somehow have Fantasy Labs NBA like wired to my brain, and I don't want that Elon Musk shit, but if I can somehow have that wired to my fucking brain, oh, this guy's out, go update the projections, I do it. Otherwise, I have no other way to get it, right? I mean, that's a Tiger career more times than anybody ever. All right, everybody, I'm going to bounce. Ian says Twitter sucks. I mean, I don't ever click on like the comments on Twitter, right? Like of other people's threads, because that's just like the biggest waste of your time. I see my cousin do it a lot. I'm like, yo, you're just wasting your time right now. All right, everybody, I'm going to bounce. Peace out, everybody. Anything on Randall yet? Not as of like 2 minutes ago. I'm going to see you all in the next one. Like, subscribe before you go. Do what you're going to do. Sign up for Patreon. I'm going to go hop in the Discord, answer some people's questions, and I'll update the projections on this massive motherfucking slate. I'm actually going on a walk. We got like an hour. I'm going to go on a walk since I've been sitting for the past hour. Get my legs moving. Get some more energy when this nice weather's still out there. So I'm going to go on a walk, hop into the Discord and do that. Look at that. Look at that shit. We be sweating up in this bitch. It's like 75 degrees up in here. We've been having our armpits down the whole time. We're starting to get some little spots on these fucking pits. That'll make these shirts pop. Some color contrast. Check out the Elbow Room in Fort Lauderdale. I'll have to try and remember all that for sure. Sal, you're the man. Thanks for everything. Yeah, best of luck, everybody. Best of luck. Peace out. Enjoy your night. Get up on Prize Picks. Make your wages. Have a good night. See you in the next one. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Rock-a-bye, baby, on the treetop. The fuck's he doing?